What's up, YouTube? I'm here doing my prediction video for UFC Fight Night Jung versus Rodriguez. Let's start at the bottom. The first fight is Mark De La Rosa versus Jacoby Sanchez, and I don't know what it is, but to me, Jacoby Sanchez, he looks well-rounded, but I feel like he's just a slight bit behind when it comes to the overall wrestling game. I think Mark De La Rosa just looks a little bit better there. I think this fight will be a close back-and-forth wrestling match, but I do feel like Mark De La Rosa is just going to slightly edge the rounds. So I got Mark De La Rosa winning by probably a close 29-28 decision, but yeah, I think his wrestling is just a little bit better. Next, we got Joseph Morales versus Eric Shelton, and this is really tough. I think Joseph Morales is probably the more well-rounded guy when it comes to his grappling, but I think Eric Shelton's the better striker. I think overall this is really close. It's kind of just who can keep it where. And it's not like Eric Shelton can't submit him. I just think Morales is just a little bit better on the ground overall. I'm going to lean towards Eric Shelton. I know that might bite me in the ass, but I feel like if his takedown defense is really solid going into this fight, I think he can catch him. So I'm leaning towards Eric Shelton. I say he wins by knockout or TKO in the first or second round. Next is Devontae Smith versus Julian Erosa, and this is kind of like who lands the big shot first. Both these guys are solid strikers. Devontae Smith's probably a little bit better of a striker, but the biggest thing to me is if this goes to the ground at all, Julian Erosa is going to submit him. I doubt it's going to get there. I don't think Julian Erosa is going to try to take it to the ground. I think this is going to be a 100% striking match until someone gets knocked out. I do think this one's going to go either way. It's just going to be whoever everyone thinks is going to win by knockout. I'm going to lean towards Julian Erosa. I just think his attack is a little bit more diverse. I think Dante Smith is just primarily boxing, as where Julian's more of a Thai guy. Yeah, but I really just think it's whoever cracks who first in this one. It could go either way, but I'm leaning towards Julian. I say he lands a head kick, just like in his last fight. Next, we got Davi Ramos versus John Gunther, and to me, I think Davi Ramos is going to light this dude up. I think his boxing and his grappling are both significantly better than John Gunther's. I feel like the only good thing John Gunther has is his conditioning and his wrestling, and he can take a shot. There's nothing amazing about his striking and his overall grappling game aside from his strong wrestling. I feel like that's not going to matter against Davi Ramos. His jiu-jitsu is way too fucking good. It doesn't matter where he's at. Yeah, I see this being a first-round submission win for Davi Ramos. I think he destroys John Gunther. Next, we got Chad Skelly versus Bobby Moffett, and Bobby Moffett looked decent, but I don't feel like he's fought as many good people as Chad Skelly has. I think Chad Skelly's fought a real high level of guys, and Bobby Moffett, although he looks good and he has a decent record, most of his wins aren't against guys that amazing, in my opinion. And I think just because of that, Chad Skelly, like I said, they're the same type of fighter, like wrestler jiu-jitsu guys, but I'm just going with Chad Skelly's experience. I think that's going to edge him in this one. I say he just edges the rounds with his slightly better grappling overall. Next, we got Ashley Yoder versus Amanda Cooper, and to me, neither one of these chicks is that amazing. They're both like, I think Yoder's 5-3 and Cooper's like 3-4. The only advantage I really see is Yoder. All of her wins are by submissions, and Cooper, all of her losses are by submissions. Both these chicks are probably decent strikers. If it hits the mat, like I said, I think Yoder's got a big advantage. This one could honestly go either way too, but I'm just leaning towards Yoder just because of the fact of all of Cooper's losses are by submissions and all of Yoder's wins are by submission. So I got Yoder probably winning by submission in like the third round. Next, we move on to the main card, and this is a fight I'm honestly looking forward to a lot, is Mike Trizano versus Luis Pena, just because this kind of clears up who the Ultimate Fighter is. I thought Mike Trizano was going to be a huge favorite going into the show. I still think he's going to be a pretty big favorite going into this. I think his overall game is better than Luis's. I think they have a very similar style of like striking submissions. But like I said, I think Mike Trizano is a little bit better everywhere. I think this will be a back and forth fight the whole fight, but I think Mike Trizano gets like a close split decision. Like I said, I think he just edges it out just enough to win it. Next is Marcin Bayer versus Hannah Cliffs. I'm pretty sure, I looked it up earlier, but I forget, but I'm pretty sure Bayer's the undefeated chick from Dana White looking for a fight. Like, look it up before, if you're going to make a bet or anything, but I'm leaning towards Bayer, if she's the one I remember. She looked really amazing on the show, and she's undefeated. She looks like she's got great striking, great wrestling. She looks like Paige Van Zandt before Paige Van Zandt decided to just become a striker. You know, like, when Paige Van Zandt first started, she looked decent because she just used this heavy, like, forward pressure wrestling style, and then she switched to just being a striker. Yeah, Bayer looks like early Paige Van Zandt. So I'm going with Bayer to win by a TKO, probably like the 3rd round. Next is Daniil Barrioush versus Thiago Morris, and this depends entirely on how much chin but Beneil Dariush still has. I mean, if his chin's completely gone, then he'll lose. But I'm going to go with the faith that Beneil still has a chin. He just got caught in his last couple of fights. Like I said, I think his overall game is just better than Thiago's. I think his striking and his jiu-jitsu are just better than Thiago's. And he should win this fight pretty easily as long as his chin's not gone. And that's what we're going to find out in this fight. I wouldn't bet on this fight just because that's a risky thing, because he has been knocked out his last 2 fights in a row. But yeah, like I said, as long as his chin isn't completely gone, Beneil should win an easy 30-27 decision in my honest opinion. Next, we got Raquel Pennington versus Germaine de Randamie, and this one's tough too, just because Raquel looked kind of shitty against Amanda Nunes, and I actually thought Raquel would have a great stylistic matchup against Nunes, and she just didn't look like she was all there. And she was injured for like 2 years and hasn't fought. Germaine has also been injured and hasn't fought in like 2 years. So it's hard to tell where both these chicks are at. I still feel like stylistically this favors Raquel, so I'm going to pick her. But like I said, it's hard to tell with either of these chicks because these injuries has made Raquel not look that great. And it's, who knows what Germaine is going to look like. She's been gone for a long time. Striking-wise, Germaine's probably better, but I think overall, like when it comes to clinch and shit, Raquel Pennington is way better, and she's great at getting fights to the ground and making it dirty. Like I said, I'm leaning towards Raquel because stylistically this should favor her, but I just don't know where either of these chicks are at because of the injuries. But yeah, I'm going towards Raquel to win by decision. Next, we got Donald Cerrone versus Mike Perry, and to me, unless Donald Cerrone's completely done, he should win this fight pretty easily. I think his striking is way better. We've already seen Mike Perry get outstruck by a technical striker when he fought Alan Jouban. And when he fought, I can't remember the other dude, the black dude who just lit him up. Tyson Griffin, I think. But yeah, I feel like Donald Cerrone, like, his kickboxing is just way better technically than Mike Perry's is. And if he just outstrikes him from the outside, he should win this pretty easily. I think that if this hits the ground ever, Donald Cerrone's way better there too. The only way I see Mike Perry winning this fight is if he catches him with like one of those big punches, because Cerrone's been finished a few times. But like I said, I don't see that happening. I think this fight's going to be exactly like the Alan Jouban fight. I think that Donald Cerrone is just going to pick him apart from the outside and win a pretty easy decision. Finally, we got Chan Sung Jung versus Yair Rodriguez, and this is one of those fights where it's like, striking-wise, it could go either way. Like, they're both pretty good strikers. Yair probably has a higher output, and that could edge him out the rounds. But to me, I feel like Chan Sung Jung is really good with his judo trips and shit like that, and he's great at getting fights to the ground. And I feel like when it's on the ground, his jiu-jitsu is fucking way up there. My only fear is Chan Sung Jung's been out for a while with an injury, and that could really affect him because he is getting up there in age a little bit too. But as long as he still looks like how he did when he fought Dennis Bermudez, then I feel like I said, I think if he gets this to the ground, he has a huge advantage there, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think that the striking will be back and forth, but I think sooner or later, whether it's in the first or second round, Chan Sung Jung's eventually going to pull this to the ground, and when he gets it there, I think he's just going to out-grapple Yair and probably win by submission in like the first or second round. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.